Chair, staff is ready when you are.
Good morning. Welcome to the City of Sacramento Personnel and Public Employee Committee. We will start by having the clerk take a roll call.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon. Today's meeting is being streamed live on YouTube in English and Spanish. Please note that live captioning and translations are AI generated and may contain errors. Members, please unmute your microphones for roll call, please. Councilmember Vang?
Here.
Councilmember Kaplan?
Here.
And Chair Jennings?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. We will rise and take the land acknowledgement and the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Vang, will you please do the land acknowledgement?
Yes. Please rise for the opening acknowledgement in honor of Sacramento indigenous people and tribal lands. To the original people of this land, the Nisenan people, the Southern Maidu, Valley and Plains Miwok, Patwin and Wintu peoples, and the people of Wilton Rancheria, Sacramento's only federally recognized tribe. May we acknowledge and honor the Native people who came before us and still walk beside us today on these ancestral land by choosing to gather today in the active practice of acknowledgement and appreciation for Sacramento indigenous peoples, history, contributions, and lives. Thank you.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, good morning, and I want to welcome you once again to this meeting of Tuesday, August the 25th, meeting of Personnel and Public Employee Committee. This meeting is now called to order, and we will now move to our first item, which is our consent calendar.
Thank you. I do have one member of the public signed up to speak on this item. Mr. Lambert Davis. Okay, the first item on consent is approval of Personnel and Public Employees Committee meeting minutes. Okay.
Chair, I can move the item on the consent calendar. I will second.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. We are unanimous in our decision. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, clerk, we will now move to our next item.
The next item is the review of applicants for the City of Sacramento Measure U Community Advisory Commission. And we do have a presentation. Requirements for seat L are as follows. Members must be a resident of the City of Sacramento and remain a resident for the entirety of their term. Members must not be an employee of the City of Sacramento. No member shall have a direct or indirect interest distinguishable from the interests of the public generally in any appropriation of the transactions and use tax revenues. Indirect interest includes, but are not limited to, an owner, officer, employee, or business entity that directly receives transactions and use tax revenue. This member shall be between the ages of 16 and 22 at the time of appointment. We have 2 applicants for review today. All the applicants were notified of the questions prior to today's meeting. The first applicant, Rohan Ayer, did advise us that she was in school today. She resides in District 1 and was not able to be present. Second applicant of Natnail Kindane did not respond. He resides in District 3. And that concludes a review of the applicants for Measure U, seat L. And I am available for any questions.
Okay. So we have one applicant that could not be here today and one applicant that did not respond. And I have Councilmember Kaplan who would like to speak, and also Councilmember Vang. I will take Councilmember Kaplan at this point in time.
Thank you, Chair. I happen to know Rohan and Nat Neal personally. They are both part of my One Youth program and have been volunteers for several years. I almost feel like a conflicted auntie because they are both of my kids and they come out and they help with all of my events and my farmers market. You know, I think for me, this highlighted when you look at Rohan's application versus Nat Neal. Rohan did listen when I said filling out, you know, give as much details as possible. And it's something that I want to follow through with my other One Youth who want to apply to make sure, because Nat Neal actually has a lot of information that could have been included, but, you know, I think when you look at these young individuals that take the extra time and put in the effort, like Rohan did, I will tell you both of them are amazing. But that little extra of I gave advice when you apply to make sure you put a lot of information in, because I know that they would both be at school and unable to attend. I would move having Rohan Ayer as the applicant for seat L for the youth seat.
I'll second that.
Okay, and you're also signed up to,
I was just going to second.
okay,
Just a couple.
fantastic. Further discussion on the item?
We do have public comment on this item. Mr. Lambert Davis?
As a person who is tremendously invested in Measure U, because I probably went to more meetings than anybody at City Hall with Mayor Steinberg. And I bet you he'll say, yeah, he was there. And it was at different parts and locations of the city. And I came to see what type of youth there were gonna be for Measure U. And I understand school and all of that, but I think instead of them being appointed without the Measure U commission, they should be asked to come down and talk, because most of the commissions for Measure U are after 5:30, at 5:30. Because to select them, I was looking forward to seeing them myself. I wanted to see what they look like and what's going on here. So since they're not here, I was going to inspire them. I can inspire the youth. That's what the millennials said. So I'm going to put it on the record. It looks like I'm the only one here that's not on the payroll. So I'm going to do what I want to do here. This right here, I was going to show the youth. Sunday was the 80th anniversary. Do you hear me? 80 years of our parents moving here, and they did a big thing for them at the church where I grew up. I saw people there that were in their 90s, some were 100, and most of them remembered me. They were proud of that cheesecake, and our mother was one of the original founders of this. I wish the youth were here to see this. I'm glad you're here. You're young enough to understand this. This is incredible. 80 years. And I wanted Measure U to see it too, because we've been paying a lot of property taxes in this city.
Thank you very much.
No more speakers.
Okay. All righty. So I just want to speak to the process of having students come and compromising not being in school. And I think we as a council at some point in time need to re-engineer the system so that we don't put a student in a position where they have to make a decision of coming here for a seat or going to school in order to be able to get educated, graduate, and then move on to higher education. I don't think we should put them in that position. I think we need to talk about how we re-engineer this so that it does not compromise them, doesn't put them in a position to make a bad decision, and then it allows them to be able to do what they should do. So I'd be open to any other ideas and suggestions on that comment. Vice Mayor Talamantes.
I was thinking the same thing, so I'm really glad that you voiced it. I think that we should work with the city clerk on the calendar for the council meetings for next year before it gets published. I think it typically gets published in November. So let's work on the calendar and see how we can move personnel to a later time to be able to accomplish this. I think it's a good idea.
Vice Chair Kaplan.
I agree. It's something we should take under consideration, and it could be something if moving the meeting is not possible with all applicants for youth seats. We as a city work a little bit more of if you get an applicant, having the clerk's office go back and be like, you know, if you're in school and you can't show up, please make your application as comprehensive as possible, and say if you'd like to submit like your 2-minute statement via video, because this young generation is very savvy. We could then play where they answer the 2 questions, and then that kind of takes care of everything, because I think the youth would happily record themselves of why they want this and what's the purpose, and then it could just be turned into the clerk and we can play it. So we get the both, where I get we're missing a little bit of the back and forth, but if we can make sure that they fill out a full application and potentially do that video, it might help mitigate some of that. So I think we have a lot of opportunities.
And a lot of options. I agree. Okay. Councilmember Vang.
Yeah, I was going to echo Vice Mayor Talamantes and Councilmember Kaplan. Perhaps maybe the city clerk can bring back some options, and then we can discuss. Because I do like the recording, but also like the opportunity for the young person to be here too. And if it means not moving all our PNP meeting, it could be like 1 or 2 PNP meeting that's in the afternoon. I don't know, right? But it'd be great to have options in front of us for us to discuss and then decide a path forward. So that would be my recommendation.
Okay. I will take all these ideas and thoughts and have a sit down with the city clerk and come back and report out after we've done that. So we have a motion and a second on the floor
Yeah, with direction. Yeah.
with direction. Okay.
I'll move the item.
Second.
Item's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose, abstain? We are unanimous in our decision.
And then just for clarity of record, because I saw you're confused, I made the motion, my vein second, and we amended our motion to include direction.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you. Okay.
The next item is item 3, review of applicants for the City of Sacramento Measure U Community Advisory Commission. And this is for seat O. Requirements for seat O are as follows. Members must be a resident of the City of Sacramento and remain a resident for the entirety of their term. Members must not be an employee of the City of Sacramento. No member shall have a direct or indirect interest distinguishable from the interest of the public generally in any appropriation of the transactions and use tax revenues. Indirect interest includes but are not limited to an owner, officer, employee, or business entity that directly receives transactions and use tax revenue. This member shall have professional experience with youth, focused adult education, public health, or environmental justice organizations. You have 2 applicants for review today. Each applicant will have 2 minutes to respond to the questions on the screen. Applicants were notified of the questions prior to today's meeting. The questions are, why are you interested in serving on this board or commission? Briefly describe the knowledge and experience that qualifies you for this position. And our first applicant, I do not see them in the room. We haven't received any response. The first applicant is Gleonin Saba, and do not see them. Our second applicant is Sarah Soda Taylor.
Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Sarah Soda Taylor. I'm interested in joining the Community Advisory Commission so that I can make recommendations on how our tax revenues are used to support social and economic development that benefit everyone in the city. I recognize that we are facing tough budget times. My daily walks downtown give me firsthand look at the bright spots. parents playing with their children in the park, residents heading to places of worship, and neighbors out jogging. However, there are areas that still need our attention, especially when it comes to providing safe spaces for our unhoused and mentally ill community members. I believe we should focus our limited resources on programs and services that, one, have measurable results, and also those that engage our residents in program design. This approach would build public trust as well as ensure budget accountability. And I am drawn to serving as a commissioner because I value the outcomes that can come when I see collaboration among residents, city staff, and of course the council. Working together. I would also strive to make recommendations that are grounded in what the residents see as funding priorities while balancing the reality of budget trade-offs. With over 2 decades of experience managing healthcare programs, including Medi-Cal and Covered California, as well as advising on the state budget for youth and health services, I've built a very strong background in public service, using data to deliver culturally competent services. My public service commitment also includes 10 years of a volunteer Girl Scout troop leader and involvement in my neighborhood association. I would be very grateful for your support in my appointment. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have 2 council members who have signed up for it so far. Vice Mayor Karina Telemontes will start us off.
Thank you, Chair. I'm actually happy to move the recommendation for Sarah to be appointed to this position. Really impressed with your AI background and creating guardrails around it, along with the HOPE leadership and being an alumni of that. I know that prepares you to be able to apply for stuff like this.
Absolutely.
And it has just generations of wonderful leaders, and I'm just really excited to move to have Sarah appointed.
Thank you. Councilmember Vang.
Yeah, I was going to second the motion on the table by Vice Mayor Talamantes. Thank you for stepping up to submit your application to do public service and to serve, and really looking forward to working with you. So with that, I'll second Vice Mayor Talamantes' motion on the table to appoint Sarah.
I'll third.
Thank you.
And with that said, I will definitely do a 4th, but we don't need to do that. So let's call for the question. If there are no more questions? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
And I'm sorry,
Oppose, abstain?
Chair, we do have public comment.
Okay, we will take public comment before, so hold that thought.
I apologize. Mr. Lambert Davis.
Family's on the ball with this one. I would like to also second this person. As a big fan of Measure U, you're the type of person that should sit on this commission. One of my favorite people was a lady named Mrs. Dickerson. She was outstanding, and so is Marbella Sala. 2 outstanding people with Measure U. See, Measure U, and I'm sure you're aware of it, it takes a lot of money out of people's pockets, which mean they come to this city. And I've seen peculiar things happen, and it sounds like you would be a great addition. As Mrs. Marge Dickerson said, quote, "What happened to Mr. Davis during participatory budgeting process was unfortunate, because he may be one of the most civically engaged people in the city." Shout out to Mrs. Dickerson, because I didn't really want to be this active, but once you come into District 2, which has over 20 communities, it's the only district that has over 20. No other district in the city has more than 10. And you know math, if a $5 million come into one community that's 10 community, that's $500,000 to each community. When you have over 20, then you have disparities like in District 2. There's certain communities that are well served, and I can tell you who they are, but not today. and I'm a native. My family's been here 80 years. I just brought it down here. I think you were here when I made the announcement. So I'm speaking from tremendous deep roots. It's no emotion involved with me. So thank you and welcome.
Is there any further comment, public comment?
No further speakers.
Okay, so we'll go back to our vote and do it official this time. We have a motion and a second on the table. Does it need to be clarified by anyone?
I think we're good.
Okay, I think we're good as well. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? We are unanimous, and we welcome you. Next item, please.
Thank you, Chair. The next item is committee comments, ideas, questions, and meeting reports.
Committee ideas, questions, and meeting reports. I'm waiting for anybody that may have something. Okay. Seeing none, we will move to the next item.
Thank you. The next item is public comments, matters not on the agenda. We have one speaker signed up, Mr. Davis.
I hope that the roster pays attention because there's only one person here. On, two people, not on the payroll. Now, this is about Measure U, okay? First of all, this is about the Sacramento Bee on our business thanking us for voting. The millennials have done something. I don't know what they've done yet, but they were heartbroken because when the voting was over, they came to me and said, hey, did we win? And I said, see, you must pay attention when it says read the fine print. And I told them, read the fine print. But they were so excited on social media, they went out there and they pushed it. So they may have landed 1 million votes. But when they saw the small print, I didn't laugh at them because they were so excited, but I taught them the fine print was always there. It said it's not going to be announced until after the midterms. And they were stunned. Oh my God, we did all that work. I said, wait a minute. And I told them I would say it today. I said, it's like being nominated for a Grammy or an Academy Award. You can use it whether we win or not. So now they're back on cloud 9, pushing what we got to go do in Southern California, which is sell a lot of cheesecake and carrot cake where we're viral down there. 30 seconds left. I think the Measure U Commission should be studied because there's some things going on there that I'll elaborate at another meeting, but it's starting to violate Brown Act because they're not sure about the procedures. And they should be because Minty Cuppy gives them she even has a little playbook now. All you have to do is read it and you'll avoid that. But shout out to the youth.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. No more speakers.
Okay, I think our business for this committee is almost finished, but I will bring up Vice Chair Kaplan first.
Kind of relevant, but not totally. Just want to end this meeting for thanking Dolly Parton for all that she did throughout her lifetime. We just got notice she had passed away, but all that she has done for women and children and health, I think as we talked about Measure U today, just a little acknowledgement that all she did in her life and thanking for gracing us. We can close this meeting out.
In her honor, we will close it out. With that, we are now adjourned.